Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. It's your boy Tiger. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I've been asked a few times by people to do a setup review, room tour. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking about my setup a little bit and talking about plans for my setup and how things are going to change eventually over the years once stuff starts happening, and you know what I mean. But I'm going to actually record everything on my phone because I don't feel like unattaching cameras and moving everything around. But I will be discussing everything that I'm using right now as of today, days and age, and then I'm going to be talking about what I plan on swapping stuff to eventually. So yeah, I'm going to roll the clip right now where I'm taking it with my phone, so I apologize about the audio, apologize about all of that stuff. But it's going to be a little bit poopy because I don't have like a secondary camera for stuff. I wish I did, because this one right here, it's not actually that great. It's more for photography. It's more what it's made for. It's really amazing photos, just not that great videos. So yeah, so I'm gonna roll a cue right now. Okay, so my apologies if the audio's sucking. I am not recording anything right now on my computer. I was gonna plug in my lavalier and do this, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, so I got asked for my setup. Here it is. I'm doing it in the dark right now. I'll turn on the lights in a minute here, but don't mind the cables. Things are gonna change, so there's gonna be some cable management eventually in the future here. So I'm running a dual PC setup, technically a triage PC setup. So there's my gaming rig. I'll have all the description and stuff that it has later, like on the video. But so this is it. So it's a beast. I only have a 2080 Ti in it, so but a 2080 Ti is still more than enough than what I need for right now, so it's good. The one below has a 3060 Ti. This is my editing / recording rig. And this is the PC that does all the streaming, all that type of stuff. So it is also a friggin' beast. Again, I'll have the description of all my stuff a little bit later. So yeah, I got two newer lights that I'm eventually going to replace. I'm gonna turn the lights on here. So I got two newer lights that I'm gonna eventually replace for the Elgato lights, because eventually, if you see this gap here between my desk and the wall here, it's actually causing quite a bit of echo when I'm talking into my mic, so it's causing a little bit of reverb. I have some of the foam panels there to try and block it, but it's not enough, and I can still very, very audibly hear it. So I've tried to mostly can a lot of the reverb in here. So this little closet here, it's got some shelving in it, more cords and cables. Once I get this rearranged a little bit better, which I'll talk about a little bit later, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. So it's got some stuff in here. My stack of Xbox games versus PlayStation games won't be nearly the size compared to my PC, Steam, and Epic Games library, but meh, whatever. So I got some Cyberpunk in there, got some Spider-Mans up there. These are my Overwatch pop obsession. So I have almost all of them. I'm missing I think 7 or 8 of them. Always seems to be that way. Spider-Man poster, Ghost plushie. Over here, there's a mini fridge, Reinhardt helmet, got some more camera stuff, my Genji sword, and then all my Reaper stuff. And then yeah, so this is the room. This is the room that everything goes down. I want to get a rug in here so I don't have to use this blanket. This blanket right here is kind of helping dampening the sound between the roof and the ceiling. I'd love to get a rug in here, but for now I'm using a Star Wars blanket that's just kind of folded up to kind of dampen the sound. But this is the room. This desk was my grandpa and I built. Best feature of the desk right here. Millennium Falcon knob, hell yeah. Originally it was built back in my parents' house. I actually had my Xbox and then my PlayStation sitting in here, but because I moved, the Xbox is now in the living room, hooked up to the TV. So, yeah. So this is the room. This is the room. I'll kind of go over all the stuff that I use in the next section here. Okay, so now that we've discussed everything when it comes to like showing you basically everything that's going on. So my gaming PC is a 2080 Ti. It's got a Ryzen 2700X in it. It's got 32 gigabytes of 3600 RAM. It's got I think a 1 terabyte SSD, and then a 2 terabyte HHD for games and stuff. So more than enough that I need for games. Because so yeah, so that's my gaming rig, which is sitting right here. I've done some changes to it over the past. It's definitely not what it looks like when I first initially got it. So I made some tweaks to it. We're gonna tweak it some more a little bit in the future, but that's what I'm running with. My streaming PC's got a 3060 Ti, and then it's got the Ryzen 9, I believe. I remember correctly. I did it in. I reviewed everything. So the one below I actually built on camera. So it's got the Ryzen 9 5900X is what it's got in it. So it's got a big beefy processor. It's got 32 gigabytes of 3200 RAM in it. And what else does it have? So it's got a 1 terabyte SSD. I believe it's a Western Media one. I do have externals plugged into it. I plan on buying an 8 terabyte HDD for it for editing and stuff, so I can plug that in, so I'm not continuously swapping out externals for it and compressing files on externals and moving them to a big external. So it's a pretty beefy, chunky boy. Things else that I didn't talk about. This one up here, I think it's got the MSI Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard. I don't remember which version of it. And the one below has got the Tomahawk, the MSI Tomahawk. I'm a big MSI guy. If I can, I'll try and have everything MSI. So eventually when I buy a new card for my gaming rig, I would like to have an MSI card for it to plug it in. I have MSI monitors. I have 2 MSI monitors. One of them is there are 2 different ones, because when I originally bought my first one that I play games on, they don't make it anymore. So one of them's the MSI Mag. I don't remember what it is. Basically, they're both 27-inch curved monitors is what they are. I don't remember what the actual technical code is, but this one is newer than this one. So they're slightly different. Like I think one's actually like slightly bigger than the other one, but not by much. So it's kind of a little bit offset. I'm using a Canon M200, the EOS M200. I'm gonna buy some new lenses for it so I can get some different field of views. Not that the ones that I have with it, I just want to try out and see how different lenses look. And see if I like one maybe more than the other. I got the 2 newer lights, right? So those ones are they have the color changing hue, so I can have a cold light or warm light. One of them's this one here is set to a cool light. This one here is set more warmer, so that all the colors kind of balance out, so nothing's too blue and nothing's too orange. So I plan on swapping those out for the Elgato key lights and the Elgato lights, just mostly because so I can mount them to my desk, so that I can push my desk back up against the wall. Because as I was discussing in that one thing there's a bit of an echo because there's a gap between the wall and the desk. So there's a tiny bit. There's not a lot, but there's a tiny bit, and it is. I notice it for sure. So I just want to push it up closer to the wall, and that'll give me a little bit more space in here for VR and stuff. So it'll probably give me, because there's probably about a foot, maybe 2 feet between the wall and the desk there. Like I'm gonna say probably about closer to 2 feet. So that pushing that back will open up a lot more space back here. It'll help out the echo between the wall and me a little bit. So it'll definitely help for sure. The microphone I use is a Blue Yeti. I love this microphone. It's amazing. I do plan on swapping it eventually at some point in time to a Shure SM7B with a condenser, whatever the power air condenser thing for it eventually. I'm probably gonna get the Elgato Wave to plug it into. I prefer not to. I prefer to stick to more of the XLR professional grade sound boosters, but hard to say. Hard to say. I have to do my research on that part and figure out when I want to use for that part. I just know I know for sure I want that microphone as an upgrade for this thing. So yeah, so when it comes to capture cards, I use the Elgato 4K Pro Mark II. That's what's sitting in my streaming PC right now, and it's doing all the live cap. It is wonderful. It is one of the best upgrades that I've ever made. For my PlayStation 4 and console capture, I use an HD60S capture card, so that's the older Elgato card, so it's not the S Plus, it's not whatever else, it's just one of the older ones. I do have one of the original HD60s as well that I used previously, but I'm no longer using it anymore. The headset I'm using is the SteelSeries Arctis Pro with the big giant game DAC, which is amazing because I can have it hooked up to both PCs, so I could be playing something on one PC and I can still hear it, and then I can be listening to stuff that's, if I'm editing or whatever else on the other PC, I can listen to everything. These headphones, again, amazing. They, again, were a fantastic purchase. I really don't regret it whatsoever. I thought I was going to, but I definitely don't. This is nice. A little bit extra stuff. I have a Stream Deck that I'm using for streaming. It has actually been super helpful between switching scenes and sound effects that I don't keep forgetting to play, but I do have them, and so it's been really helpful for streaming. Definitely 10 out of 10. The macro pad is very, very nice. Maybe not a Stream Deck, but like even like a normal macro pad would have been just fine, but because I already have so much of the Elgato stuff, I was like, well, I may as well sit everything together so that it's the same brand, so that everything works off each other nicer, I guess. So because obviously when you stay within the same brand, everything plays together a lot nicer. So speaking of that, I got two SteelSeries keyboards. I don't remember the names of them. This one was bought a long time ago. This was like the Apex something. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, so my keyboard's the Apex 7 for the one that I'm playing games on. It's got quieter switches than this one here, than the other one here that I'm using. I don't remember what it was, but this keyboard here is an M750. So I have an M750 and then I have an Apex 7. So this one's shorter. This one's the longer keyboard. So this one I have all the editing stuff on it. And then I just wanted a shorter keypad for gaming because I wasn't really going to use a number pad for anything really when it comes to gaming. I don't know who does. I'm sure there's definitely games that do use it, but not the games that I play. So those are those. Eventually I'd love to get a standing desk and get this old desk out of here. I love this desk. My grandpa and I built it. It's got a lot of memories. It's got a lot of heritage in it. I'd love to eventually get a standing desk. It's just going to help a little bit for VR and that type of stuff. But I'm good with this desk for now. But in the future, like maybe 2 or 3 years in the future, I'd love to get a standing desk. Just makes everything so much easier. As for like changes in setup, eventually I want to get both PCs. I want to go buy a little rack so I can get both PCs not on the floor, but behind and underneath my desk, pushed up against the wall almost. Not completely up against the wall because I still want airflow, but and then just so I can have a lot more desk space for everything, and then I think that'll be, and then with the introduction of the standing desk, everything will be open, so then I can still see the PCs and I can still show them off, kind of thing, for people who come over and that type of stuff. So those are some things that in the plans and the works that I want to get. So there's a couple upgrades that I still want to grab eventually. Like I said, a new microphone would be nice. Some new lights will be nice because I think this one likes to give way on me every once in a while, which is really annoying when I'm trying to record a video and then the light's like flickering out and I'm like, you're an LED, you should be fine for a really long time. And it's just like the convenience of mounting everything to my desk would be super nice, because like I said, it takes all the stuff off the floor, it makes it easier to manage, it gives me a little bit more space, especially with taking the PC off, my gaming PC off the desk and putting it underneath my desk, raised up. Again, would be super nice, get it a little bit lower on the ground. I know dust settles, so the closer you have it to the ground, the worse it is for it, but at the same time, hot air rises, and this room gets freaking hot, so the coolest portion will be on the, like, closer to the ground. So there's a little bit of leeway on it, but yeah, that's basically what I'm running with when it comes to my streaming and gaming stuff, my editing thing. This computer here is a Dominator GT72, so it's an old beast of a gaming laptop. I don't know how many years old it is. It's like six years old, I think. Yeah, it'll be 6 years old. I do all my Illustrator art, thumbnails, that type of stuff on it. That's primarily what it is for. It's just an art computer now. So that's where I run all of that type of stuff. So I do like any type of artwork, all my thumbnails, a little bit of other stuff to it as well. It's got all my school stuff on it too, from when I went to school. So it's just nice to have it as a separate thing. Keep everything separate. Have one PC for editing and videos and streaming, one for gaming, and then one for artwork. I think it's just really nice that way. For everything else. So yeah, so that was basically the tour of what I'm using, what my setup is, what it looks like. This is a gaming chair. I don't remember what it is. It's some off-brand that I bought from Amazon. It's still comfortable. I love it. It's fantastic. I did a video where I built the chair when I initially got it, so you can go look at that if you want to. Like I said, the PC below underneath, there's been I tweaked it since I did that video, but if you want to see me build it, I'll leave the link in the description below. So yeah, that's basically what I'm working with. So I am totally curious to see what you guys are working with, so maybe if you guys want to leave it in the description below what kind of setups you guys are running, or like, just want to share something. I appreciate that. You guys like the video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your setup, whatever else. I love to look at it. I am not a judgy person when it comes to setups. My cable management, it's not the greatest until I start, having everything set up the way I want it to. But I'm rolling with it. And to be honest, you can always cable management. Like, it takes a lot of time, but you can always manage cables at whatever time, right? So, yeah. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. I'd appreciate it if we can get there really soon. I'm like 20 away. Let's go. Join my ambush. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell so you never miss a video. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Happy 2022. Later.